Hey everyone, Dr. Gage here. Today I want to bring you a video on how you can utilize load management to help you perform at your peak for your next event or sporting event, your next race, your next competition. Here in the office, we have a couple foundational rules that we have other videos on our page about, and that would be the 10% rule, and that is increasing by 10% every time when we're coming back from an injury to get you back and ready to play. And then also the chronic overuse injury cycle. Today, we're going to talk about a third foundational concept we have, and that is load management for peak performance here. What we're talking about is that runner who is maybe starting to train for their upcoming marathon. Maybe their weekly mileage has been at 10 miles a week for the last few months if they've been in the off season, taking it really light, really easy. And now that training's going to begin, they want to jump in and go from 10 miles a week to 20 or 30 miles a week. When we look at things like our 10% rule here, we can apply that and say, look, we're at 10 miles a week right now. If we jump to 20 miles a week, we are at risk for overuse injuries to occur here. And that is not going to help us properly set up ourselves for that peak performance by our targeted end date. When we're looking at injuries that often happen from overloading or overworking the tissues, they can be classified as acute or chronic. And so if you routinely run marathons and every time you seem to kind of start out a little too strong, that knee pain comes back. It's been like that for 5 years, and it's every time you begin to train that for that next marathon. That is a chronic injury. Acute would be maybe this is your first race that you're training for there. What we want to do is find that sweet spot for you where you can still achieve your goals in training, but without overloading or overworking that tissue prior to your peak performance or your target date. What that might look like is if you're at 10 miles, this week we add 2 miles and 2 miles, and then we add 4 miles. And we slowly work up to that 20-mile point, which is then when you can follow your training plan and increase mileage as you continue to get closer and closer to that end date. When we don't follow proper workload and utilizing our 10% rule, we often end up with overuse injuries such as sprains, strains, can end up with tendinopathies or tendinitises. And those are all injuries that are going to defer and keep us away from achieving our goals that we set out in the first place. If you have more questions on how you can properly prepare and how a sports chiropractor can help you prepare for your next race or competition, send us a DM today or feel free to give us a call and we're happy to help. Take care.